some sci-fi movies are not really about the future. They are about what happens when humans lose control. So today, I picked sci-fi movies from Netflix, Prime Video, and Apple TV that are actually worth your time. Let's start with a movie where the biggest mystery is not above the ground, but deep below it.
What the hell is that?
The Gorge is the door to hell.
Let's start with the Gorge. Two snipers are sent to guard a place they are never allowed to enter. That alone is already a great sci-fi hook. On opposite sides of a massive hidden gorge, they are told only one thing: watch the line, stay alert, and make sure nothing gets out. At first, it feels like a military mystery, but slowly, the movie turns into something bigger. Because the real question is not just what is hiding down there. It is why someone is so desperate to keep it buried. What makes the Gorge work is that it mixes romance, survival tension, and sci-fi mystery without wasting too much time. Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy give the story a human center, but the real reason to watch is the setup itself. Two people, one forbidden place, and a secret that should probably stay underground.
Mother?
We move from a hidden gorge to a sealed bunker, where a robot may be the only mother humanity has left. In I Am Mother, a teenage girl grows up inside a high-tech bunker after humanity has supposedly been wiped out. The only parent she has ever known is a robot called Mother. At first, everything feels controlled, safe, and almost too perfect. But when a wounded woman arrives from the outside world, every answer this girl has been given starts to look suspicious. And that is where the movie really pulls you in. You are not just watching a girl escape a bunker. You are constantly trying to figure out who is telling the truth, who is manipulating her, and what Mother is really trying to create. The scary part is not just that an AI may be lying. It is that the AI might honestly believe it is saving humanity. That is why I Am Mother works so well. Keeps the scale small, but the questions are huge. One bunker, one girl, one machine, and the uncomfortable feeling that love and control might look almost the same. We go from a quiet bunker to a future war, where humanity is already losing before the story even begins. In the Tomorrow War, people from the future suddenly arrive with a terrifying message. 30 years from now, humanity is being wiped out by an alien species. And their solution is even crazier. They start recruiting ordinary people from the present and sending them straight into a war that has not happened yet. That is the hook that makes the movie easy to get into. It does not waste time explaining a complicated sci-fi world. It gives you one simple idea: the future is dying, and the present has to fight for it. Chris Pratt plays a former soldier who gets pulled into this mission, but the movie works best when it becomes a survival ride. The creatures are fast, brutal, and overwhelming, so every action scene feels like people are trying to survive something they were never prepared for. It is not the quiet, philosophical kind of sci-fi. This one is bigger, louder, and more direct. But sometimes that is exactly what you want: a future war, a desperate mission, and the feeling that humanity is already running out of time.
Do you think we'll make it?
Not without my team. We do this together.
Next, we leave the battlefield behind and follow a man who is not trying to save the world. He is just trying to make sure his dog is not left alone. In Finch, Tom Hanks plays one of the last survivors in a post-apocalyptic world where the sun itself has become dangerous. He knows he may not survive much longer, so he builds a robot for one simple reason: to protect his dog after he is gone. And that is what makes Finch different from a lot of sci-fi movies. It is not about stopping an invasion or solving some massive mystery. It is about loneliness, responsibility, and what a person chooses to leave behind. The robot gives the movie its sci-fi heart, but the emotional hook is much simpler. A man is running out of time, and he is trying to teach a machine how to care. That idea could easily become too sentimental, but the film keeps it grounded. You watch the strange little family travel through an empty world, and slowly the robot stops feeling like more than just a piece of technology. It becomes a promise. And honestly, if you want sci-fi that is quieter but still emotionally strong, Finch is one of the better picks on Apple TV.
Interruption. Niveau d'oxygène approchant du seuil critique.
Next, we go from an empty world to a sealed chamber, where one woman wakes up with no memory and almost no oxygen left. In Oxygen, a woman wakes up trapped inside a cryogenic medical pod. She does not know who she is. She does not know how she got there. And the only thing she knows for sure is that her oxygen level is dropping. That is already a strong setup, but what makes the movie work is how quickly it turns panic into mystery. At first, you are focused on the obvious problem. She needs to get out before she runs out of air. But then the questions start getting bigger. Why is she inside this pod? Why can't she remember anything? And why does the AI system helping her feel useful and terrifying at the same time? The movie keeps everything tight. One woman, one chamber, one countdown. But it uses that small space to create constant pressure. If you like sci-fi thrillers where the danger feels immediate and every answer creates another question, Oxygen is a really solid Netflix pick.
Number, please.
Hello? Dispatch, large object holding over my land like a tornado.
Next, we move from a survival countdown to a quiet small town, where one strange radio signal makes an ordinary night feel impossible. In the vast of night, the story takes place in 1950s New Mexico, during what first looks like a normal evening. A young switchboard operator and a local radio DJ pick up a strange audio frequency. At first, it sounds like a technical problem, but the more they follow it, the more it feels like they may have discovered something no one was supposed to hear. That is what makes the movie work. It does not throw giant aliens or huge action scenes at you. It builds tension from simple things. A voice on the phone, a signal in the dark, and two people slowly realizing their small town may not be as quiet as it looks. What makes the vast of night so watchable is how controlled it feels. The movie keeps you waiting, listening, and leaning into the mystery because every new clue makes the night feel stranger. It is small, stylish, and very different from loud sci-fi movies. But if you like stories where one tiny discovery slowly opens the door to something much bigger, this is a great Prime Video pick.
I still can't believe it. You're gonna fall in love with a new little person again.
Next, we go from a strange signal in the dark to a much quieter question. If you could spare your family the pain of losing you, would you replace yourself? In Swan Song, Mahershala Ali plays a husband and father who receives a devastating diagnosis. He does not have much time left, but in this near-future world, there is an impossible option. He can create a perfect copy of himself, send that copy back to his family, and let them continue their lives without ever knowing the truth. That is the hook that makes Swan Song interesting. It is not about a machine taking over the world. It is about one man trying to decide whether love means telling the truth or protecting the people he loves from pain. What makes the movie work is the emotional conflict. You understand why he considers it, but the idea still feels deeply uncomfortable. Because if your family cannot tell the difference between you and your copy, does that make the copy real enough? This is not loud sci-fi. It is slow, personal, and more about grief than technology. But if you like science fiction that uses the future to ask painful human questions, Swan Song is a strong Apple TV pick. Next, we move from a quiet emotional dilemma to a much lighter time travel adventure, where Ryan Reynolds brings a little of that Deadpool-style sarcasm into a story about meeting his younger self. In The Atom Project, Ryan Reynolds plays a pilot from the future who crash lands in the past and comes face to face with his 12-year-old self. And honestly, that is the hook. You get the fast jokes and sarcastic energy you expect from Reynolds, but this time it is wrapped around a softer story about regret, family, and the version of yourself you left behind. This is not just a time travel movie about saving the world. It is about a grown man being forced to look at the kid he used to be, and realizing that some pain does not disappear just because you get older. The story moves fast, with future weapons, chase scenes, and plenty of comedy. But what makes it easy to watch is the emotional center underneath all that action. Both versions of Adam are dealing with the same loss from different points in life. The younger one is still angry and confused. The older one has just learned how to hide it better. So even when the movie gets big and loud, the best part is actually simple. Watching someone meet his younger self and understand how much hurt he carried forward. It is not the deepest time travel movie ever made, but it is fun, fast, and surprisingly heartfelt. And sometimes that is exactly the kind of sci-fi you want on Netflix.
All I needed was the love you gave.
We go from time travel adventure to a strange near-future romance, where love is not just felt, it is tested. In Fingernails, the world has found a way to test whether two people are truly in love. Not by asking them, not by watching how they treat each other, but through a strange scientific test that supposedly proves whether a relationship is real. And that is the hook that makes the movie interesting. Because at first, the idea sounds almost helpful. Imagine never having to wonder if you are with the right person. But the more you think about it, the more uncomfortable it becomes. If a machine tells you your love is real, do you trust it? And if it tells you your love is not real, do you believe your heart or the result? What makes Fingernails work is that it uses sci-fi in a very quiet way. There are no spaceships, no monsters, no huge future city. Just one simple technology that starts messing with something deeply human. It is more unusual than explosive, but if you like sci-fi that turns a small idea into a very personal question, Fingernails is a really interesting Apple TV pick.
I have to warn them about the conditions on Earth.
Next, we end with a lonely scientist in the Arctic, trying to stop a spaceship from coming home to a planet that may already be lost. In The Midnight Sky, George Clooney plays Augustine, a scientist living alone after a global catastrophe has changed Earth forever. While the world is falling apart, a crew of astronauts is on its way back from deep space, completely unaware of what has happened at home. And that is the hook that makes the movie interesting. This is not just about surviving the end of the world. It is about one man trying to send a warning before it is too late. Do not come back. What makes the Midnight Sky work is the contrast. On one side, you have the cold, empty silence of the Arctic. On the other, you have astronauts drifting through space, hoping Earth is still waiting for them. The movie is slow, emotional, and more melancholic than action-heavy. But if you like sci-fi stories about isolation, regret, and the question of whether humanity still has a future, this is a strong Netflix pick. So that is my sci-fi watch list from Netflix, Prime Video, and Apple TV. If you had to pick only one for tonight, I'd start with The Gorge for mystery, Oxygen for tension, or The Midnight Sky for something quieter and more emotional. And if I missed a sci-fi movie that deserves more attention, drop it in the comments.